Otega Oay isn't done with his work in Lexington yet. Are we going to be champions now? If you think so, subscribe to the channel, and also about his return to the UK. We have the talent to be the #1 team in the country. It's going to be a fun year. Let's get to the news now. Otega Oay's return to the Kentucky Wildcats may very well be what was missing to return national glory to Lexington. The news of his decision to return to the program instead of staying in the NBA draft brought a wave of optimism to BBN, which has been yearning for that 9th national title for years, a goal that now seems more tangible than ever. With Mark Pope at the helm and a roster full of talent hungry for victories, the Wildcats are ready to face the 2025 season as absolute protagonists. It's no exaggeration to say that Otega Oay embodies the hope for a renaissance for Kentucky basketball. His statement to ESPN, "We have the talent to be the #1 team in the country," comes with a confidence that only a player of his caliber could convey, and that confidence doesn't come out of nowhere. Oay proved last season that he's capable of handling high-level challenges. After transferring from Oklahoma, he quickly established himself as a cornerstone of the Wildcats, leading the team with impressive averages of 16.2 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 1.6 steals per game. His impact was felt not only in his numbers, but also in the energy and cohesion he brought to the group. Now, with an extra year of maturity and renewed focus, Oay returns not just to play, but to conquer. The decision to return to college came after valuable feedback from NBA teams, who suggested that Oay still had room to grow before making the definitive leap to professional basketball. And he seems to have viewed that as an opportunity, not a setback. "I want to try to improve my performance and put myself in a position to win a national championship and all the rewards that come with it," Oay told Jonathan Givony and Jeff Borzello. That mindset of striving for the best for both himself and the team is the kind of leadership that turns good teams into great champions. But Oay won't be alone in this quest. Head coach Mark Pope, whose arrival at Kentucky has already generated high expectations, has assembled a roster that combines experience, youth talent, and depth, 3 essential ingredients for any team that aims high. With Pope, known for his ability to motivate players and build identity in his teams, the Wildcats have everything they need to find the perfect balance between explosive offense and resilient defense. Oay will be the engine of this machine, but there are complementary pieces around him that promise to make waves. Oay's presence raises Kentucky's ceiling significantly. He's not just a dynamic offensive player who can create for himself and others. He's also a versatile defender who can pressure opponents and change the pace of a game with steals or unexpected blocks. In a sport where defensive intensity often decides tight games, especially in playoff tournaments like the NCAA, that's an invaluable trait. Plus, his experience as a transfer player brings a unique perspective on navigating the tough stuff of a league as competitive as the SEC, and we can't ignore the emotional aspect of it all. The call to return and pursue Kentucky's 9th national title was too strong to ignore, as Oay emphasized. That sense of belonging, of wanting to make your mark on the history of an iconic program like Kentucky, is something that transcends statistics. It's the fuel that fuels great performances in decisive moments. When a player like Oay expresses that hunger for achievement, it automatically inspires his teammates to follow suit. With all of these pieces coming together, a charismatic and talented leader in Oay, a visionary coach in Mark Pope, and a group of players who share that same ambition, it's hard not to envision Kentucky as a favorite to win the national title in 2025. Of course, the road to that goal will be full of challenges. The SEC remains one of the toughest conferences in the country, with traditional rivals like Tennessee, Arkansas, and Auburn always ready to test the Wildcats' limits. Plus, the NCAA tournament is known for its unpredictability, where one bad night can cost months of hard work. But with such a deep roster and aligned goals, Kentucky has all the tools it needs to overcome these obstacles. "We have the talent to be the #1 team in the country," Oay said. "Let's take that as our starting point and keep going strong." Mark Pope's arrival at the helm of Kentucky basketball has brought a new era of hope and excitement to the program, and his first season leading the Wildcats has been nothing short of impressive. ESPN, always judicious in its evaluations, not only recognized Pope's work, but also elevated him to elite status by awarding him an A grade in his debut in Lexington. This recognition reflects not only the concrete results achieved on the court, but also the transformative impact Pope has had on the culture and identity of the team. Taking over a program the size of Kentucky is never an easy task, especially when you have to rebuild practically everything from scratch. After leaving Cal for Arkansas, Pope inherited a challenging environment, a roster in flux, uncertainty about the future, and the relentless pressure to live up to the high expectations of one of the most traditional programs in college basketball. However, he not only met these challenges with mastery, but he also exceeded the expectations of many. With a final record of 24-12, including notable wins over giants such as Duke, Florida, twice, and Tennessee, Pope proved that his philosophy of play and leadership can thrive even in the toughest conference in the country. The SEC, known for its brutal competitiveness, did not intimidate the Wildcats under Pope. On the contrary, the team emerged as one of the most consistent in the conference, accumulating 8 wins against teams ranked in the top 30 by KenPom, a feat that underscores the quality of the work he has done. But what really caught the attention of analysts such as ESPN's Myron Metcalf was Pope's ability to maximize the potential of his roster, even in the face of adversity. Key injuries affected key players such as Kerr Kriisa, Lamont Butler, and Jackson Robinson, which could have derailed many teams. However, the Wildcats never made excuses. Under Pope's leadership, the team continued to advance, building a solid record and showing maturity in crucial moments. That resilience was one of the pillars that sustained Kentucky's run to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament, where they only succumbed to rival Tennessee. In addition, Pope accomplished something that many considered unlikely, transforming a team historically known for its explosive offense into a respectable defensive team. Finishing 51st in the nation in defensive efficiency may seem like a minor detail to some, but for a program accustomed to prioritizing scoring over other facets of the game, this progress was monumental. The balance found between a dynamic offense and a reliable defense was one of the factors that set this version of the Wildcats apart from previous editions. ESPN's praise also highlights another crucial aspect: Pope's legacy as someone who deeply understands what Kentucky basketball is all about. As a former player for the program, he carries with him the tradition and pride of wearing the blue and white uniform. That emotional connection to the institution has allowed him to not only implement his style of play, but also restore some of the magic that made Kentucky one of the most iconic programs in the sport. His inspiring presence and hands-on approach were instrumental in uniting a diverse group of players and creating a core identity. Another notable point mentioned by ESPN was Pope's ability to assemble a top-notch coaching staff. In such a short period of time, he was able to assemble a team of experienced and dedicated assistants who were able to maximize the potential of each player. This synergy between the head coach and his staff was essential in shaping the Wildcats' consistent performance throughout the season. It is worth noting that, in addition to Kentucky, other SEC teams also received positive grades from ESPN, such as Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Missouri, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt, which also earned A grades. This demonstrates the collective strength of the conference, and further reinforces Pope's achievement in guiding the Wildcats to the top of this highly competitive group. On the other hand, teams such as LSU, South Carolina, and Texas fell far behind with D grades, highlighting the disparity in quality within the conference. While there is room for improvement, after all, Kentucky's ultimate goal will always be to compete for a national title. Mark Pope's first season has already cemented his reputation as one of the most promising coaches in college basketball. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.